Hi, welcome to Club of Coders. In this video, we are going to build a full stack Twitter clone. A fully fledged, fully stack Twitter clone using Next.js 13 version, which is a latest version in the Next.js ecosystem, and the app router directory. We are going to use server components in React to fetch the data, to do all the things related to fetching the data in the server components so that our website can load faster. Also, we are going to use Supabase for authentication for our database. For everything we need for our backend, we are going to use Supabase and Next.js. Other than that, in this tutorial, we are going to use TypeScript because we always want our development experience better. So to make our life easier while working on development, while working on developing the Twitter application, it will provide us a lot of auto completion. That's why I love auto completion, and that's why we will use TypeScript. And don't worry, if you don't know TypeScript, you can just watch the tutorial, and I hope you will probably, I am like 90% sure that you will understand everything what I am doing, because I will make sure that you will understand that line of code. So with that, let's get started and let's build a full stack Twitter clone with every possible feature we can build in this full stack Twitter clone. So let's go. So now, as you can see, I am using Mac operating system. So if you are using Windows, you can use your terminal, which is Git terminal. Okay, so you can install all the things. You can install Visual Studio Code. I have made all the videos related to installing, initializing in my past YouTube videos. So you can watch them. You can understand everything related to installing and setting up the environment. We will directly jump forward and we will start building our application. So I haven't prepared anything. So you will see what I do here. So for the CSS part, I have forgot to mention that we are going to use Tailwind CSS because I like Tailwind CSS a lot, and it will increase our productivity at least by 10x. So that's why I love using Tailwind CSS, and that's why we are going to use Tailwind CSS in this full stack Twitter clone project. So for installing, so first we will get into our folder. So now I am in my root. So I will go to desktop, I will go to YouTube, and I will clear everything, and I will now use pnpx command. So you can use yarn, you can use npm, you can use pnpm, but we are going to use pnpm because it is fast. So why it is faster? Because pnpm used a mechanism to hard link all the packages to the code we are working. For example, you are using Prisma ORM inside your one code folder or inside your one code repository, and you try to install that into your another folder, into your another project. So it will install at one place, and then it will link that package to every project from a centered location. That's why it is faster, and it will help us to save our disk space inside our machine. That's why I love using pnpm, but it may sometimes cause some errors. So you can always shift to yarn, that is better than npm. So I will go for pnpm now. I will say pnpx create next app because we are using Next.js. So it is a command to directly install the Next.js. So create next app @latest, and we will say just enter. And now you can enter your project name. So I will say Twitter clone. So I will call it ultimate Twitter clone. Now it will ask us a few things. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. Yes. Tailwind CSS? Absolutely yes. Yes. And now it will say, would you like to use experimental app directly? It is now experimental, but it is a great chance that when you are watching this, it is into the stable version. So we will move forward with server components. That's why it is the latest and greatest tutorial on the internet as of now. So we will use import alias so that we don't have to use relative imports. So it will make our life easier also. So as you can see, it has installed all the packages very fast because they already exist in my machine, and the pnpm just hard linking them to the center location where the packages exist to my project. Now we can go to our ultimate, and I have made a ultimate blog application. So you can see that thing in my description, or you can visit the page. But as of now, this is a free tutorial, and this is going to be free always, and I'm making sure that it will be the greatest tutorial on my YouTube channel. So as you can see, we are into our folder, into our repository. Now we can open our Visual Studio Code, our code editor, where we will write some code. So code space dot and hit enter, and now it will open a window of Visual Studio Code. Open it, and now as you can see, everything is set up already for us. So inside the source directory, you have this API routes where you can define some API routes. You have your layout, you have your page. So now as you can see, our project is ready. Now we will install a few things which will help us to make our life easier. So now as you can see, we are using Next font, and here we are using Inter. So we will remove everything, and first we will run this application so that we can see what is happening there. So we will run pnpm run dev, because if you see in the package.json, here you can see to run the dev environment, you just have to run pnpm run dev, yarn run dev, or npm run dev. So as you can see, we are using app directory here, because we will use server components, the latest and greatest stuff in the React ecosystem. So this is my browser window. I will open it in another tab here, and I will go to localhost 3000, and you will be able to see how it looks. So this is our basic Next.js application running, as you can see. Now, as I said, we will use Supabase for everything in this project. Because why we are using Supabase? Because it is very easy to set up authentication, to set up database, to set up storage, because we will be uploading images, we will be uploading GIF also for our Twitter post, so that it will be very easy for us to use Supabase, and it will handle all the complex stuff for us. So we don't have to worry about anything. So as you can see, build and we can scale to millions. This video is not sponsored by Supabase. If they have sponsored it, I would be very grateful, but it is not. I am just recommending it because this is by far my go-to tech stack for building full stack web application, and I love using Supabase. So now as you can see, it is totally free, by the way. You can sign up for a free account, and now you can click on new project, and I will say ultimate Twitter clone. So this is a database password which you can also generate afterwards. And now I will choose a region which is near to me, free account, and create a new project. Now it will create a new project for us. And now let's see what are the features Supabase offers. So we will see all the features. So you can see we have database, we have storage, we have edge functions if we want to do some computation on our backend side. But I think for our project, we don't need any computation. But if you need something like sending emails to the user, running a cron job, or doing some expensive task like video processing, image processing, or some kind of stuff, then you can use edge functions. It is just like serverless functions, or it is just like using Vercel API routes. But it is much more capable of doing anything, and it uses Dino as a framework of Node.js. And we also have real-time thing where we can fetch real-time data, we can get real-time updates. So let's assume you have some leaderboard inside your full stack application. Then you can use Supabase real-time database to connect to your database, and whenever you have some updates, it will automatically update your UI, and your users will be able to see all the results changing in real time. And we will use authentication, we will use database, we will use storage. These three things I think we are gonna need inside our project. So it will take some time to provision the project. Let's wait for some time. You can see. Okay, so our project will be deployed on its own instance. Okay, so let's wait for some time and we will see how it works. So you can also visit some documentation here. All the documentation is here. So number one thing, we can directly create our database tables here. Okay, so if you visit Twitter, so let me just get my Twitter account. So we are going to copy this whole thing. So as you can see, this is our Twitter, and we are going to copy this whole thing. We are going to copy this model. We are going to copy this sidebar, this timeline, this trending section. And I think I am also going to build this feature, which is trending feature, who to follow, and all of those things. So first thing first, what do we need? We need our database. So what does a Twitter contain? A Twitter contains tweets, number one thing, users, tweets and replies and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we will stick to our database. So we will think how should we approach. So let me open my Excalibur, and here we will see what we will do. So how should we approach the whole thing? So here we can do something. So first we can build our layout, build our UI, build our layout. I think that's the best approach, and that's what I do almost all the time. UI, build the whole UI, and then what you need to do. Now you have the UI, you know what the data you need. Then you can proceed and you can design your database. You can design your database. So design the database. Then afterwards we will create our tables. So let me zoom it so you can see. Now we have our database, and now we will create our tables, create tables and sync our database with our code. So let's assume we are going to use an ORM like Prisma to handle our database queries and mutations and handle all the migrations and all that kind of stuff. But we are not going to use Prisma here. We will just stick to plain Supabase and plain stuff here. With Supabase directly querying our database and directly mutating our database from our front end by using the Supabase.js library. And for our queries thing, we will use React query. And you will see what are the problems we are facing with plain Supabase with using custom hooks, or if you use a library such as React query to make our life easier with loading state and error states. So here we will create tables and sync our database with our code base. So now we have our database and also TypeScript configuration. So we need to do some things with TypeScript here, and afterwards, so when we have did this thing, now we can build our functionality. So now we can build our functionality, build the functionality. So what are the functionalities we need mostly in our Twitter application? So mostly post tweet. A tweet includes text, image, video also, or GIF. So we are going to implement all of these things. Okay. So post tweet, a tweet includes text, images, video, GIF, or all of that combined. So we are going to implement this functionality. So this is the first thing. Now we have an infinite timeline, which is infinite scrolling feature. Okay, so this is the main feature where we can fetch the tweets. Another functionality we have is user page profile, where we have our users, and users can like a post, users can like and bookmark. Two things we can, and reply to a tweet. So a reply is also a kind of tweet. A reply is also a kind of tweet. So we will see how to implement this thing, and that's all the functionalities which we need. So this is a lot of work, and you will see how we approach these all things, and you will be amazed how easy is this to build this application, and how easy is this to build this application using Next.js and Supabase and Tailwind CSS. So first, let's jump right into building the UI part. Cool.